back to our channel. Hey, you must want to show you just have fine people in this channel. I know that's how you roll, guys. We have a very special edition today, and always I'll give you guys a backstory. I mean, before I had my baby, everyone has always said about nannies having helps around the house, right? And before I had my baby, I mean, it's just maybe based on the experience you had growing up. The house was probably had in your house. That's the only knowledge that you have. But it's different when you're now the employer and you actually have to get someone for your baby. You now have to manage the nanny. Like, it's another ball game entirely. And a lot of things were new to me. The first nanny I got, it was rough for us. And then thankfully, I got my second nanny from them. And it's been amazing, to be honest. It's been very good. So we're talking about nannies. And I believe this video will help everyone, right? Because especially parents in Nigeria, the option is either daycare, you get family, if your family is even easily available, or you get a nanny. And people have questions. I mean, how do I get a trusted agency? What's the process like? What's the experience like? A lot of people have concerns when it even comes to getting nannies, and your concerns are valid, I assure you. But this video, basically, we're talking about nannies, right? The experience, the industry, and all that about. And like I said, I got my nanny from them, so I always bring you guys trusted people that I can back my full chest. So yes, now they're going to introduce their lovely selves. Please, what's your name?
My name is Frances, and I am the Assistant Placement Officer as Executive Global Nanny.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Amara, and I work as Nanny.
Oh, hi. It's so lovely to have you guys. So, I mean, you said Executive Global Nanny. I mean, what is Executive Global Nanny? What do you guys do?
Okay, so Executive Global Nanny is an organization that is focused on hiring trained nannies, and we also place nannies. So our organization is more like a placement stroke training organization for nannies. So we try to make, our mission is to make the nanny industry better by hiring trustworthy nannies and well-trained nannies, so that you don't get a lot of bad experiences from us like you get from the other agents and just the random agents. So yes, we're just trying to make the industry better.
And to be honest, for my little experience with you guys, I can see it. That's why I really like working with you guys. I mean, they do constant Instagram lives where they talk about a lot of topics, right? I know that every month they send me messages on feedback. Do you understand? And then I mean, you guys even do trainings. I mean, Nanny has been with me for just like 3 months, and she has gone for training. She went for like this first aid training. I mean, the first agency I used, they're a bit popular. I won't mention their name, right? But I didn't really, I didn't really feel it. But I can see the intentionality in even the training and the process that you guys So as a parent, you're even very comfortable, right? Another thing is, you talked about how do you vet these nannies? What do you do?
Okay, so when a nanny registers with us, we have this link where they register, they fill in the details, the whole necessary information.
So sorry, like what information? Like what do you ask
like
about?
Their name, their email address, if they have experience, and the number of years they have worked for, the ID card. So when we get this information, we try to match, because we can't just match anybody with anybody. Of course. Right? There's some clients that want someone that is calm, someone that speaks well. There's some clients that don't want any of that.
Really?
Yeah, so we try to match, it's just like a match making kind of thing.
People have expression. Maybe you should consider relationship as a side so you can put a dating site.
So we try to match nannies that fit the client's expectations and requirements. So when we do that, we schedule interviews. So after the interview, when the client picks the nanny that they want, we run verification.
Good.
Right?
Like
so
what?
We verify the name, your email address, the phone number, your house address, your ID card, and all of that. And then we also verify the guarantor's information, like the name, their ID card, where they stay. We try to take a picture, something that we can use to identify and verify that this address is this address. Right? So after that, we run medicals.
Good.
To ensure that the nanny is fit for
Work.
resumption.
Yeah.
So that's just basic. And on some occasions, we run police reports.
So is it acts like if the client
Yes, if the client requests for police reports,
okay,
we do that. But we do not necessarily have to run the police reports because we have done the verification. But if you as a client want us to do the police reports, we go ahead to do the police reports.
Okay. And then these medicals, what kind of tests do they carry on the nannies?
Okay, so hepatitis A and B.
Okay.
And pregnancy test,
Okay,
HIV.
good. So thank you so much for that. I think that's very comforting for parents to know that instead of getting a nanny from you, you've done your own proper due diligence. You're not just, oh, someone is looking for a nanny work, oh yeah, come and just come and work. That's very comforting. Okay, so now how can parents and nannies, because like I said, working with nannies, it's like an office setting. So there's people management part of it. So what advice will you give to parents to just create a good environment? What are things that should be in place? What should they expect? What should they understand when working with nannies? Yeah, just tell us.
Okay, so I'm just going to give a short story of a client that I worked with recently.
Okay.
Right. So there's some clients that are really not patient. And speaking to this client, she was not patient. She's not a patient person. And she expects that if she hires a nanny from us, the nanny is supposed to resume. And on the first day she resumes, she should already take up all of the responsibility. But I mean, there's supposed to be like a process where you get to put the nanny through. You set boundaries, you let the nanny know where she can go to and where she cannot. And secondly, the children. Her children are a bit calm, and before they warm up to you, it might take a while. And children, they would cry if they don't know,
like you. Exactly.
So
normal.
A new nanny comes in and the children don't know, they don't know this person, right? This is a new member of the family, so they're a bit cold to the nanny. But then the client expects that because you're trained, you should perform magic, or there should be a miracle
that was just
where you just hug the children and you guys be one happy family. But it doesn't work like that. The children need to get to know you, to be comfortable around you. So it was so difficult because the client did not want to even understand or even try to put the nanny through, and there was somebody else in the house. So she had to tell the other person, don't tell this new nanny anything, let her work on her own. It was that hard. So she told the nanny that the other person, let this new nanny take care of the children, let her take care of them, don't assist her with anything regarding the children. So the other nanny, she's new, it's like the second day and she's still trying to understand how things run. 2 children, and then the girl, she cries all the time and she barely sleeps at night. So it was so tough for the new nanny because she really needs to know what the other person does to make the child stop crying, all of that, to be able to even start. So it was really tough, and that kind of environment, if the nanny is also not a patient person, she cannot work. She eventually left in a week because it was just not conducive. So things like that can be really stressful. So if you start as a nanny and then the client is not really welcoming already, she was feeling like the client does not like her. Do you understand? She was already feeling like the client doesn't like her and she's not welcome in the house. So already she was already planning to leave. So even if she didn't leave in 1 week, she would have left in 1 month. Do you understand? They run away. They won't come back. They will not come back, and they will leave with their bag. And you'll be wondering what is the problem.
True.
So that kind of environment can be really depressing to an extent.
I agree.
Because the lady, she would text, she'll be giving us feedback like, this is what happened last night, the baby was crying, the husband had to come and he was shouting on them that whenever the baby wakes up they have to be awake, and that is understood. But sometimes she's a new nanny, she needs time to adjust to how everything. So it was really hard, and it was really telling on the nanny. She would be calling us every day, she would be texting us it was so crazy.
So sorry to question, but even as an agency, because I like when people are so interested in their staffs, how were you able to handle it for her?
We had to help her, right? So because when she started working, the clients didn't tell us that she would have to do housekeeping. So she now had to tell us that, she had to tidy up the kids' clothes, she has to follow them to school, but they have a driver. So following them to school is not necessary, but the clients want her to follow. So we had to tell her you have to follow them. Now, when you are up at night with the baby, you know, while she's up, you don't carry her all the time. So if you're dropping her, try, if you see anything you need to fix that night, just fix it, so that during the day you can catch up on the sleep that you have missed that night. Try to like use a lot of time when you're taking care of the child, do other things around that can ease your stress in the morning. So we had to like talk to her and help her. We assisted her. We really did. You know, we had to follow.
Well, I mean, if the environment itself is not even helping, it is almost impossible.
No way she was going to. We
course.
already knew that she might leave, and a week later she was like, she has to travel her mom, and we just understood. It's not a mom, ma. You can't go. It's fine. Because we already knew, you know, from the whole story and everything. We just knew that she was going to leave eventually.
And I mean, clients like that, how do you even handle them? Do you get another nanny for them? Do you speak to them?
From the whole sending profiles point, you would already know, because we sent over 20 profiles to the client. She has a problem with everybody. You know, I don't like this person. This person is not going to work with me for long. This person. So already, speaking with the clients, you
have an
know
understanding
that this is who the person is. She really, you know, we just knew that this is the kind of person. We needed a nanny who is very calm, who can take, you know, advice, and who can take all the corrections and not show it. Because if it's somebody that is another reason she did not want to hire someone who has gone to school. So she just wanted someone who is an SSA holder.
So already just take advantage of them, as far as I'm concerned.
What she wanted to do. But
no offense to the parents out there, but I mean, sorry again, but I just, because I hear stories, and that's why I also really wanted to do this. And that's why I wanted a nanny to also be here. So that so you can share it, because this video is not just for the nanny, but it's also for the parents. Like with my nanny, I mean, because she has a lot of experience. So that's why I'm like, just, you know, tell me stories. And I'm like, God,
you not believe the things.
I'm like, wait, even with everything you see, how do you see wake up and say, okay, let me now go to another person's house? Let me go. Like, I don't want to start with the stories, because some stories are scary. Some are even like literally like life threatening. Honestly, from the stories that I even hear. So this is to parents to also do better, right? Because these nannies are also human beings. I mean, every parent, you work somewhere or you have your own business. I have a rule: treat people the same way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
They are human beings. If you didn't need that nanny, you won't, like, don't look at it as, oh, you are doing them a favor. They are the ones doing you a favor. She can decide to leave tomorrow, she'll get another job. Like, I mean, honestly, you are the one that needs the help. You need the one that she needs it. If Nigeria is hard, there's no this. You need the help, and you need someone that you can. And I know that having children can be a lot. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. And I know, like I said, as a parent too, I can relate to people management, that sometimes your nanny will do things that can just be annoying, or why you just like this, and all of that. So I can also understand. But like I said, work with an understanding, you know, agency. Like this agency, they'll ask you every month, if I have issues with my nanny, I'll let you know. So at least they can speak to them. So I know that there's a third party that is professionally dealing with their staff. Do you understand? And you too, be a good human being. I don't know. Try. No, now it is not good now. It is annoying. So I'm sorry. But yes. So okay, those are just, I mean, because we can talk all day on you know, creating a good work environment. But I'll just summarize that. Please put yourself in the shoes of that person, right? If just imagine you are resuming work for the first time anywhere, how would you want to be treated? What would you wish someone would tell you, someone would do? Try your best to be that to that person, and try as much as possible to create, you know, a good environment. Remember, this is also a human being. The person needs to rest, the person needs to eat, the person needs to be in a healthy environment, also function, you know, effectively. And it's your kids. It's not an item. It's not house. It's not door. Do you understand that they're dealing with a human being, your children? You want someone that will also be happy and be willing to, you know, work and all of that. So yeah. We have another question. Don't worry, guys. I'm still going to Nanny. We have plenty of stories to hear. But before we, finish with you officially, but because can always chip in when she's talking. What areas do parents need to do better? Like, what major areas do you think they need to work on when it comes to their nanny?
So I feel the first thing parents need to do is open communication.
Yeah.
Because sometimes would reach out to parents, to our clients, you know, and be like, how has it been so far? And they'll start saying a lot of things, and we'll reach out to the nanny, and the nanny will be like, she didn't complain the whole time. So open communication. If there's something, address it. You know, if you don't like if you don't like the fact that the nanny did something, address it. Even if you don't address it immediately, but eventually just do, because encouraging open communication helps. The nanny too will be free to communicate and, you know, talk about things that, you know, are bothering her or the child. But if you don't, she'll also keep it in. And also another thing we encourage our nannies to do is, when it gets to your off, you know, the time, speak to your employer. You know, don't come to us and say, please speak to my employer for me, because you need to be able to communicate with your employer. Tell her, ma, I'm going for my off next week. You know, tell her a week before, so that she would know that, oh yeah, you didn't have to come to us. So how would it look if we go to the client and say, hello ma, the nanny that is working for you, please, she should go for her off next week. You that's working, you know her better than we do, right? Because we're not in the house with you, you're in the house with her. So speak to her, tell her that, oh, next week, up her week, on this date, I want to go for my off. So that kind of encouraging open communication is very important. It's very, very important. And another thing I feel like parents need to do better is, you know, being involved in their children. Because some parents, when they hire nannies, sorry, this thing is like I'm getting angry. They're taking off the responsibility, hand it on nanny, and they're done. So you need to be involved more often. I mean, there are some times that your child needs to bond with you. Not every time. The baby is crying, go and carry it. Sometimes assist the nanny, be more involved. Because some parents, I'm telling you that when they hire a nanny, they've just handed over everything to the nanny. But sometimes it's really not good that way, because your child might even get closer with the nanny than you. So sometimes you need to be involved. Get to go out with your child, play with your child, maybe dress them up, bathe them once in a while, you know, so that they know that, oh, that's my mommy. Not every time. Come and carry the baby, she's crying. Or come and take her to school. Or come and, you understand? Just be involved more often. Being involved goes a very long way for the nanny and the child. You know?
Exactly.
And another thing is respect. Most parents do not respect their nannies. Because they will say that's the house help. It's not a house help, that is a nanny. She's taking care of your child. She deserves respect, even if it's just a little. You see that respect part? It's something that we can talk about forever. You hear the way some parents talk to their nannies. You hear the way they treat their nannies, and it's like they're treating someone they are, you know, someone they don't respect at all, or someone that, you know, they are. I don't understand, because sometimes I just try to understand or, you know, really get this whole thing, but then you probably can never understand why some parents treat their nannies so bad. It's not like they want, but they just don't respect them enough to treat them better. You know, I feel like parents have to. It is a need. Please respect your nannies, your housekeepers. They are human beings too. And when they feel that I feel like it is a two-way street. If you respect your nannies, they'll respect you too. You don't feel like because you're the employer. They have to. You have all the rights. I mean, they can leave anytime. I mean, they can. I've seen so many videos of people, them nannies or housekeepers trying to beat the children. How you treat your nanny is how they'll treat your child. Because you don't treat them bad and expect that they'll be all lovey-dovey with your child. Transferred aggression is the thing. It's the thing. So I feel like that respect is very important. They should respect their nannies.
You see, as far as I'm concerned, this is the most important video I've done so far. I started this YouTube channel, and you know, as we're having the conversations, I'm just. I don't want to say I'm adding emotions to this video, because these are like real things. I don't know if you've actually gotten, you know, nannies, or you talk to parents, you realize that these things are very real and they are very important. I'll speak to the first thing you said, communication, right? Because what I also do my nannies, immediately you are doing something, most times I just tell you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
It's if maybe I have to keep repeating myself over in particular, because most times when you guys ask me, I'm like, there's really nothing.
Yes.
On the spot, I will address it with you.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's no, because not as if you are so much a terrible, terrible person that do you understand? Any major thing I notice, oh, this is what you did, please don't do it this way.
Yeah.
And then do you understand? If I always ask her to, if there's something I'm not doing, tell me. Open your mouth. Do you understand? Even me, ask for feedback. Am I doing something wrong?
Yeah.
Are there ways you want me to do? So I will want specific. This one I did that time. Are you sure it was okay with you?
Yeah.
Don't lie, yo. She just like so she's a bit more confident. Because like I said, you are handling my child. You are handling my child, and I want to be know that right now I'm not with my child. I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
But I want to be at peace knowing that my daughter is safe.
In good hands.
Exactly. And then we talk about what's the second thing we talked about before we talk about respect. Being involved. Thank you. Based on the stories I've also heard. And I understand in this age and time, parents can be very busy. Okay, so because I used to work in consulting, and I don't know if everybody knows like accounting consultant and all of that. It's a very demanding and stressful job. Not everybody can have the luxury of I want to be a stay-at-home mom. It's like this time things are a lot, and I know what. In fact, I had to leave that job because the stress was so much. I was fainting. I fainted. I had high blood pressure. So to show you that it was a lot. So I'm trying to put myself as a mom that has that kind of a job where it's really that demanding. But see, I feel like as a parent, if you decide to have a child, your child and family becomes primary.
Yes.
Anything you do is now secondary.
Yes.
In this area, a lot of people are, and I'm not against chasing career, chasing business, making money, but your family is always the first. Your family should never have to take the setback. It may be hard, and this is another topic entirely. So let's not go too deep into it. You may not agree with me, but it's my opinion. Your family should always come first. Make out time. If you can have time to eat, you can have time to go and watch a movie. You should have time to spend time with your child. Like she said, it could just be as little as the bathing time, one particular feeding time. Take out time to read a book to your child. When your child is playing, children play a lot. Take out 30 minutes to just play with that child. Find time, intentional time, because you are the parents. Nobody should be training your child for you. Nobody should be bringing up your child for you. Nobody should even know your child better than you. Right? And I mean, that is just my opinion. And I know it can be a lot. So I don't know if there are parents out there that are even struggling. There are people that even genuinely want to do better. They have that guilt, but they don't just know how. So maybe, hopefully, I don't know what kind of guest I can get to help parents. I mean, I plan on doing videos for career moms, business moms, to address, specific issues, they are going through. So, but just please be intentional. You can always send me a DM and I'll sit you down and, help you map out or look for how you can, at least, because your family is important. Don't outsource it. Respect. Do we even need to talk about that? Don't you want to be respected? Would you like it if I talk to you anyhow? Yes. This is personal. Yes, I'm talking to you. It's personal. I mean, it should just be it. And I know that, like I said, people management can be hard. So that sometimes parents, we can come off, rude. There's some people that yell rather, or say things that don't mean. Please don't be too proud that you cannot apologize. Don't be too proud that you cannot come back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Right? I mean, one of my stars talked about how she had the boss that whenever you do something, Jenny, you do something wrong, she yells. But she never felt bad because she knows that me said I messed up. And then the woman will always come back and say, "I'm sorry for how I shouted at you, but you too, So I mean, that's social that I can't get angry if you are yelling at me because you know that. I mean, there's a kind not any specific. Are you stupid? Can't you see? Yes, you are not creating a good environment, a safe environment, and an enabling environment for people to work. And again, it is your child. It's not a piece of item. It is your child. Please, let me calm down. Let me calm down. Yeah. Let's just do better. Yeah. But thank you so much. All our videos are always so long. The gist is always so sweet. You guys should not be angry, but I just hope it's always worth it when you watch our videos. But yes, let's go to the nanny herself and ask questions based on your experience. Sorry, guys. we're having a conversation offline. I just wanted to bring online, still on this respect thing. So sorry, you were sharing the story. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm trying to say that we had the clients that reached out to us that she wanted a nanny. So after everything, we sent her a nanny for a physical interview. The nanny waited for about 30 minutes and then almost an hour, and then she called the clients the second time to like, hello ma, I'm still out there. The client was so angry, like, why are you calling me back the second time? No, I've had a long day. You know what? Just go home.
I think that was transferred aggression. That sounds like transferred aggression.
So she had to, the nanny was so sad. The nanny was so like, today is Sunday and I had to come out for this interview. So the nanny really felt so bad. So I had to apologize to the nanny and the client, and we had to just go forward because there was really nothing. So it happens like that. They'll just feel like you're coming for interview, you need a job, you can't wait for 2-3 hours, you can stand, however you're coming for a job. But then sometimes the little respect, it just goes a very long way.
See, on this respect thing, sorry, I have principles I live by, and maybe if you're struggling, one, how would you like to be treated? I always have that in the back of my mind. How would I like to be treated? Start with that. Leave the person is your driver, the person is a nanny. Leave whatever the person is. The person is a human being like you, an individual like you. How would you like to be treated with people? Secondly, stop having that mindset of I'm doing you a favor. It's a job. Don't you also need a job? I mean, your office needs you just as much as you need them. It's a two-way thing, right? That's why they pay a salary. That's why they do their best to ensure that, if you're in a good working environment now, they try and do incentives, they try and do bonuses, they try and, all of that so that they can keep, key staffs and goods. And nobody wants to lose valuable people, right? So it's a two-way thing. I need you, you need me. I'm not doing you a favor by giving you a job. I feel like if you live by that principle, at least it'll probably help you have a mindset of self-respect, and you begin to value what that person is doing and bringing to the table. Let's move on, guys, please. Okay, our dear nanny.
Okay.
Can you please talk about, just a brief summary of what your experience? Talk about maybe the number of years, the ages you've worked with, and just a summary of your experience as a nanny. What can you say?
Okay, so I've been working as a nanny for 2 years and 6 months.
Nice.
And I've taken care of children aged from 2 years to 8 years old. And I've had the privilege of interacting with lovely families, being in the life of lovely children, and generally just being a part of their development. And in as much as I've had my ups and downs working as a nanny,
of course,
I've had a lot of that. But in as much as I've had that, working as a nanny, I do enjoy working in this field.
Really?
You talked about previously. You talked about how a nanny will, have stories, unpleasant stories in the previous place they worked, and then they'll still be looking for another nanny. So it's just an inside thing. If it's something you enjoy doing, something you love, it's your choice that you've made. You still go for it, and you understand that there's something better. Even though you've had this experience and it's not very nice, you still understand that there are better people out there. So that's why you still go and get another job working as a nanny. So that's all I can say about it. I've enjoyed working in this field.
That's nice. Because I was even going to ask that, what made you even want to be a nanny? Because see, I'll be honest with you guys. I love my daughter, but I can't. I can't. Like, I feel like there's some people that are built for this thing.
Yes.
I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people. So why? Do you just love children?
So the first time I worked as a nanny, it just happened. Yes. It wasn't something like I walked into. So it just happened. Somebody suggested it to me. One of my mom's friends asked her if I would love to do something like that. And I was really young then. And when my mom talked to me about it, she was like, do you want to go for this thing? And I was like, well, I want to give it a try. Let me see how it goes. So I wasn't sure if I was going to do well or not. So I just decided to give it a try.
And you enjoyed it.
So, it went well. I bonded with a child. We were talking like sisters. She was 8 years old.
Oh, she was a bit older. That's so nice.
Yes, she was 8 years old. So we talked, we would communicate so much, and I loved doing it. So I continued doing it after I tried other things. Because I've worked also, I'm the kind of person that I want to go out there, try things, see what I'll prefer, and make my choice.
So
I've gone outside, tried other things, tried working at other places as well. But then I found out that okay, I want to go back to working as a nanny.
Oh, that's
Yes.
stuff. Think of people like you. We appreciate you. We
Thank
love you. It's true now because all of us cannot be like me. I pity you. If I mean, unless with children I love, of course. If like my nephew, my nieces, my friends' children, there's emotional attachment. But you know, call me. Not be like 5 children. I should not say, I beat. God forgive me. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Yes, and this is the story part. For me, this is one of the parts I'll be looking forward to. What has been your least and favorite experience as a nanny? Tell us what you have seen out there.
Okay, so I'll start with my favorite experience as a nanny. That's basically, the bonding process that I have with the children that I'm taking care of.
Yeah.
The times we share together, reading, playing, learning together, and just me generally being a part of their development. That's my favorite part of being a nanny. And when it comes to the least favorite experience I've had so far working as a nanny, I'll say it's the experience I've had with parents that don't really care for their nannies, for the nannies of their children. They don't really care. Like, they might pretend that they care, but inside they don't care. They don't care about you. And I've worked for a parent that told me literally that it's not about you, it's about my child, which is very, very understandable to some extent. But then, understanding that the nanny is also a person is something that some parents neglect. They don't have that understanding. So I've worked for a parent that didn't really tell me that it's not about me, but I could see it.
Yeah,
From
from
the
how they act.
actions, the interactions, the way he will shout, over things he shouts about. You just know that this person doesn't really care about you. In as much as while they care very much for their children, like I could see the care and love they have for their children, but the nannies of the children is a no. They don't care about you. So I've had experience with a parent that literally shouts over every little thing. It doesn't matter what it could be. It could be about turning on the AC. Maybe you turned on the AC. The children were hot, and the children are literally complaining that they are hot. And then you turn on the AC, and then when he walks inside and sees that the AC is on, they'll be like, "Who turned on this AC?" And then you say, "It was me, sir." And he says, "Why did you turn it on?" He won't let you finish explaining that the children was hot or were hot. He will start screaming at you. You're not allowed to turn the AC on in the house. How dare you turn on the AC? So he will.
Even when I try, I'm just carrying my bag. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, ma. I don't think I can continue here.
It was really an issue. So he'll be like, "You're not allowed to turn on the AC. The AC is so expensive." He'll tell you how much he bought it, so you can't touch it, and he won't give you any chance to explain yourself. So he will complain about every little thing. Okay, so I remember one time working for this parent. It was early in the morning because I was minding the smallest child in the family. He had 4 children. And
Wow, are you thinking of 4?
No, alongside 2 other nannies.
Okay.
Actually. Yes. Alongside, so we are 3 nannies taking care of the 4 children.
Wow, that's a full household.
It is. Sorry, it is. So I was minding the last child, and he is 2 years and some months. So every morning I give him Weetabix. Every morning. So that morning I was giving him, I wanted to give him Weetabix. So I put him in his chair, at the dining table, and then I went and grabbed the Weetabix. So I took the Weetabix, put it in a plate, and put milk in it. So immediately I put milk in it, I just put his spoon inside, and he walked in. The child's father walked inside. And previously he had told me to stop turning the Weetabix before I give him. So he wanted the Weetabix to be a bit strong before I give the child. And he doesn't enjoy it that way. So, but he won't let me explain to him. Do you get? So he told me that before, and being that he has already said it, that morning I put it inside and I didn't turn it because I know there are cameras all over the house. So, and I know if I turn this thing, he's going to see it and it's going to be an issue. So,
what the house,
honestly. So I already put the spoon inside, and immediately I did that, he walked inside and saw me with a plate of Weetabix. And then he started shouting immediately, "You turned the Weetabix." Meanwhile, I didn't turn it. And he was in front of us. So he started screaming that I never listened. He's told me already to not turn the... I was looking at it, and he did not let me explain. So what I did was bring the plate right in front of him to see that I did not turn it. And he saw the plate and continued shouting. So that was why I was convinced that he doesn't really care about you. It doesn't really matter. He just wants to create issues. Just wants to create issues from nowhere. So He
And
continued
sorry,
following
I
that
don't
way.
even think this is even good for the children.
It is not.
Like if you're constantly watching your father shout and
Yeah,
yell,
you won't
even
also
as the
respect
kids
your
grow
nanny.
older, they will respect your nanny now.
Yes.
They don't learn respect. They will respect the driver. They will respect
Yes.
cleaners. They will respect anybody.
Because
Yes.
you feel like I'll tell my father.
Yes, now I can talk
Yes.
to them anyhow. My dad
Yeah.
talks to them anyhow.
Yes.
Yes, and I feel like to an extent they started enjoying it. You know, children will be children. So the children, if anything happens, maybe a food fell on the floor and
They'll
the nanny
scream.
was rushing. No, they won't scream, but maybe the nanny was rushing to clean
Yeah.
up and forgot to pick something, or maybe plantain fell on the floor. They'll tell their daddy so that he will shout at you. So, but their mom kind of creates the balance with that. Their mom don't allow them to be so naughty, but their dad, he'll create chaos in the house.
That's so interesting.
So-
Because women are more, dramatic.
Yes, but I feel like their mom had a more professional mindset. So she doesn't scream. She encourages her children not to be naughty. You know, if anything naughty happens, just bring them to her. You know, so that she will caution them. But I can't say the same for their father. It's actually the opposite.
Wow.
So, and I can remember another time. This time around, they traveled actually, because they travel a lot. That family travels a lot. They live between Nigeria and London. So yes. So one time they traveled, and their father was still around. Oga was still around. So that morning we were cleaning the house. So we mopped everywhere. It's actually a big apartment that they have. It's a penthouse actually.
Wow.
So they live in a penthouse, a very big one. So we cleaned everywhere. All the floor was wet. So we turned on the AC as usual.
To make it dry.
Yes. So nobody slips and falls or anything.
Yeah.
One of my colleagues had fallen one time
Wow.
because of wet floor, and they took her to the hospital. She broke her leg.
That's serious, so.
It was serious.
Wow.
It was serious. So we turned on the AC that morning, so that the floor would dry and everything.
Yeah.
So it was normal, but being that he was the only one in the house, his wife is not there. Because usually when he starts to scream and starts to become aggressive, coming closer to you and intimidating and all of that, his wife will come out and be like, "What's going on, darling? Calm down," and stuff like that. So she was not around to do any of that. And this man started shouting again that morning. "Why would you turn on the AC? You are making the light bills go up and this and that." So he was like, and we stayed in the BQ. So he was like, "Everybody hand over your keys. I'm going to the BQ to check if the ACs are on. And if it is, you are all leaving today." So he took our keys, went downstairs and checked if the AC was on. And fortunately it was not. But that was not enough for him. So he came upstairs again and was like, "You people are very wicked." So he started calling us wicked, cussing at us. And then he said the unbelievable. That no decent man is going to marry any of us, since we are so wicked for turning on the AC for the and he's giving us something.
Does he
I don't know.
Does he have, maybe you don't know. Maybe he has issues. For the wife to come out and I'm not trying to get excuses. That's a lot, but it seems abnormal.
It's extreme. He was really, really extreme with his drama. He was so dramatic, and we were just enduring because of his wife and the way she was calm. Even though she has her own as a human being, she has her own flaws.
Yeah.
But it was like bearable.
Yeah.
So we could pair with her. We could see that she's trying to make things work, at least to an extent.
Yeah.
But her husband was something else, and that day she was not around. They already traveled. So when he started doing, it was the last straw for us, for all the nannies.
As everybody resigned.
It was the last straw for all the nannies.
Oh my
Everybody was
God, chill out, rock. Just imagine you acting out of nowhere. I don't have any nanny again.
honestly. So she was angry, honestly.
Of
When we started
course.
telling her, and being a wife, she stood by her husband.
No.
Being a wife.
No man,
And we
don't be
understand.
Mariana.
We understand.
I can understand.
Yes, but then it wasn't something we could put up with anymore. We knew that this is it. This is it for us. We can't bear it anymore. So we called the agency that we were working with at the time and explained what was happening. She tried to talk with the woman, because you can't talk with the man. You cannot have a nice conversation with him, a professional conversation. You cannot. He's going to prove, and he's a barrister. Come to think of it, he's going to prove you wrong. There is no way he will not prove you wrong. So it became such an issue that we had to leave. Yeah, so that was like my least favorite experience working as a nanny. It was
Wow,
the
that's
worst
a
of them
lot.
all.
That's a lot. And
Yeah,
sorry,
that's it.
so because I don't want you to get too long. I have a feeling that's getting long already.
Okay.
But I just want to, because I know that sometimes I also talk about the children in particular. I don't know if you have any experience with kids being naughty or just difficult children to work with.
Okay, so yes, this last place I just worked, in as much as their mom was being very cautious with them, trying to caution them not to be naughty, I feel like the kind of character that their father showed gave them wings to kind of be naughty to an extent. So one time when we were putting the children to bed, one of my colleagues was actually putting them to bed and they were just being naughty. I don't want to sleep. I want my mommy. Their mom was not around. I want my mommy. I want my mommy. And it was bedtime. I read them bedtime stories. It was time to sleep. So Alexa was playing sleepy lullabies. IJ, please go to bed. We were trying to convince her to sleep. And then she said, somebody must pat me. If I'm going to sleep, one of the nannies must pat me. And we were like, but mommy said no. Because their mom said, okay, don't get so touchy with them. When we go to London, their nanny can handle it. Their nanny, because they have another nanny in London that stays with them. Whenever they travel to London, somebody takes care of them. So, and it's just one nanny. So she was like, don't get, like, if they get too used to it.
Yeah, it would be difficult for that nanny.
Yeah. So she told us, it's good to pet children, but let's just
understand.
So that day we told her, but mommy said no. So we can't do that. And she already patted her for a while, but she wanted her to continue patting her till she sleeps. And she was trying to convince her that we can't do that because mommy refused. And then she said, if nobody pats me, I'm going to make it difficult for all the nannies. I'm going to make life more difficult for all the nannies. And she had to call me, like, come and hear what she's saying, we were shocked.
How old is this girl?
She's like 7 going to 8. A 7-year-old child. She was like,
things are happening outside.
Learn fast. What you show them,
what you do them as parents, you have to be very intentional.
You have to know what you have to mind
serious.
And what you
learn
do
from their
around
parents.
children.
So she was like, I'm going to make it difficult for all the nannies. So my colleague had to call me immediately to come and hear. We're like, IJ, did you just say that? So that means all this while that you've been making it difficult
you
for
just
us,
intentionally.
it was intentionally.
Yeah.
We were shocked. So we were like, we are definitely telling mommy. So you're going to have a conversation with mommy because this is out of hand. She started crying, no, don't tell mommy. And we're like, no secrets, IJ. There's no way we can tell mommy. So that was it. Children can be children, but sometimes we have to be careful around them because they pick up real quick.
Things, quickly.
Real quick. And before you know it, they will turn into what you don't want them to turn into just because you're not being careful around them.
So
that's it.
The stories here are very. I feel like if just okay, let me get some business idea. You should do a podcast, and then invite maybe like domestic staffs. If you stake my idea and you don't come, you're giving reality. But I think you should start a podcast, and I feel like it's not just for the means of just doing it, right? I think people need to do better. Parents need to do better. And that their children need to also just be more intentional. Guys, if you stay to the end of this video to this point, I give you one code Zobo. Let me share it. Share code Zobo for them. Thank you so much. But we have just one more question before we kind of wrap up. And this is an important question because I noticed it actually with my nanny and it can be understandable. So the question is, how are you able to navigate different parenting styles? Just to speak better on it, because my nanny, the things that she does, nothing serious, right? And I'm like, I don't want this way, but I noticed that it takes a while for her to adjust to my own style. And you can't blame her. Imagine you've worked 2 years with a particular parent that had a particular style of doing this thing. It will be difficult. So how do you constantly, if you have to keep doing that, how do you just manage and navigate that?
Okay, so the first thing I do is having a mindset that all the families I'm going to are not going to be the same. So I have that understanding that if I'm moving from here to here, I don't have the expectation that they're going to be the same. Because we are different people, we have different ideologies, we don't see life through the same lenses. So I understand that first. And then when I come to a new family, I tend to observe a lot because I already know it's going to be different. It's most likely going to be different. So I try to observe the things that are different. If things are the same, I acknowledge, okay, this is the same here. If this is different, okay, this is different here. and then I try to learn. And sometimes it takes a while, honestly, to change, because we are human beings and you get used to things. But then I'm learning, and then I'm learning, and I'm unlearning as well. So I'm learning, okay, you don't do this here actually, and okay, I step back a bit, and I convince myself that okay, we have to go this way now, because this is how the parents want it. And I understand that when it comes to parenting styles, you don't know better. Like, we try to improve ourselves, but you don't know better than the parents when it comes to their child.
Exactly.
When it comes to their child, you don't know better than them, and you don't care about that child more than the parents.
Thank you for let me underline that, because nannies, because I feel like we're attacking parents a lot, but that's very important, because the things I talk about my child, I'm like, okay, so for example, I have a big stature. It's not about what I eat. I'm naturally big, and I've noticed that my daughter has that same tendency. So I know that sometimes when my nanny is feeding her, she's already full. You can even identify, you see girls stumble at me. So I said to her that, see, you don't have to, like, I know that you want the food to finish, food you know where, but it's difficult to know constantly with children. Once you just notice she's fine, stop it. There's no need to overfeed, especially because she has a tendency to be overweight if she's eating too much, and it's not good for you to be overweight. Do you understand? So you just be thinking I'm just saying. So I have to explain to her why I'm telling you to do this, because like I said, as a parent, I know better. I know what I'm trying to. So yes, nannies also listen, so that I will not be as if we're attacking parents.
You know that in some cases there are also parents that want the child to finish all the food. If the child doesn't finish the food, it will become a problem. So it also takes unlearning that. You know that okay, this is different here. For you to know that okay, moving forward, the child must not finish the food. So we have to understand as nannies that the parents know better, just like I said before, and the parents loves their child more than you do. In as much as you love children very well, and we understand that you have a thing for children, you love them, you bond with them, and all of that. But the parents have been with that child before you came in. So you have to sit back a bit and absorb what they are telling you and change. And another thing I do is have an understanding that it's not only about me. In as much as I care about myself, I look out for myself, I understand that in this family the well-being of the child comes first. Because I'm taking care of this child, I love this child, and they're paying me to take care of her, and it's about this child actually. So she comes first, he comes first, or they come first before anything. So I think that helps, with adjusting with different parenting styles, and warming up to the family. And when it comes to warming up to the family, I feel like the parents actually play
a bigger role.
Because I have the understanding that it's your house. I'm the stranger for now, especially when I'm new. So it's more of the parents' responsibility to make the house warm and welcoming for that person, because they can't just come and behave as if they own the home. You understand? It will be unnatural for you to just come in and you can enter anywhere, you can just do anyhow, relax anyhow you want. You'll be feeling away as a human being because you don't know these people don't know you, and they being the employer gives them a bigger hand to be the one to say, okay, you're welcome in our home, this is what is allowed, this is what's not allowed, feel comfortable, if you need something please let me know, or okay, don't go here, it's going to create problem. Or if you know, as maybe you're the madam, there's something Oga doesn't like, you tell the nanny, okay, Oga doesn't like this,
don't do this, exactly,
stuff like that, so it doesn't create a problem for the nanny. Because if she goes ahead and suddenly feels at home all of a sudden and does something that is not acceptable, and then Oga comes all of a sudden and starts screaming at her, it's going to make the nanny feel away, and they will be more withdrawn, and it will create bad energy, which the child does not need. So I feel like when it comes to settling in a home, it's more of the family's
responsibility, of course, to draw you in, yes. Guys, thank you so much for staying with us. This is closing remarks. I don't know if you have any important thing you just think parents or nannies need to know. Please go ahead.
Okay, please, this is something I think is very important. When parents are hiring nannies for their children, I feel like parents should just go ahead and hire a nanny for their children. Because sometimes I see parents want to hire one nanny that's going to be taking care of their children, cooking for the house, cleaning, doing laundries, and literally doing everything in the house. They want just one person to do all of that, which is not the best, because
it's overwhelming.
That person, it's very overwhelming. That person is most likely going to get burnt out. And if they get burnt out, they might just neglect the child. Which is not what we want. It's not in our best interest to neglect the child. So I feel like when parents wants to employ nannies, they should employ nannies.
Yeah.
If you want to employ a housekeeper, employ a housekeeper.
Yeah.
So that person is not overloaded.
Yes.
And and then it also creates an issue where if maybe they're not neglecting the child, but they're neglecting housekeeping, or they're neglecting the laundry, or and it's going to create a problem. The parents in that case will have high expectations of that one person. You're going to expect them, okay, we agreed that you're going to be washing all the clothes, we agreed, but then that person is a human being and they're going to be
realistic.
Yes,
I totally understand.
Especially when there are more than one children.
Wow.
If it's more than one child, it's going to be very difficult for that person. So parents should stop doing that. They do it a lot, even up till now.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not something nice. So.
I agree. And another thing I'll just add to that is that please, parents, pay your nannies well, right? If you're going to get a nanny, you want someone that is good. I feel like don't pay 35,000 naira. Let me just say like don't
25,000, 20,000.
If it's someone that maybe is coming in and out the house, coming to you and just cleans, I can understand. But like she said, there are different rules. There's a cook, there's a nanny, there's a housekeeper. Even if maybe, I know some people do nanny and housekeeping, depending on, you can't afford children. Let's not go into details. But whatever it is, please, if you're going to get a nanny, like I said, put yourself in the person's shoes. Do you understand? And try and pay a good amount of money. I know that things are expensive, things are hard, but the nanny too is a human being. Please pay well, right? Try your best to pay well. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I'm sure this video has taught you something. You've learned something from that. And even your eyes are, because the truth is, before I became a mom, I didn't know all of this. If I started having nannies, I didn't know all of this. And there's also a lot I learned even in terms of, maybe I'll just do short Instagram videos on this, things I did not know about. I mean, having a nanny and like what I know now, just to help parents that are trying to get into that phase. But I'm sure this video has helped you extensively. If I'll put their Instagram handle in the caption and also underneath right here, so you can reach out to them. And if you have questions for them, there are more things you'd like to talk about, please do well and talk about them in the comment section. Anything you also want us to talk about on this channel, do well. Remember to follow me on Instagram, oluwaseun_sidame. I'll put my handle, and hey Jesus, subscribe, like, share, drop a comment, please, I'm begging you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.